So what's up, everybody? It is the Goal60 here for the 2018 college football season. Bowl season's here. We're about to make some picks on how we think these games are going to go. This week I've got a special guest filling in. Got Tom here. Michael's picks will be in the description below. But Tom, if you don't mind, give us a little background of your handicapping, and then we'll start making some picks.
Thanks, Clayton. I appreciate it. Hey, I've been handicapping for about 25 plus years. Since the early 90s, mostly football, college, pro, a little basketball, a little bit of NHL the last few years. But excited about this bowl season. I've been doing some research and got it ready to go whenever you are, Clayton. I appreciate it.
Sounds great. So this week we're going to do things a little different. We'll have a little fun with this bowl season. We decided to stay around $1,000 and kind of give our unit plays here and see how we do at the end of bowl season, see who finished the furthest up. Of course, Michael's will also be assigned units and dollar amount, and we're just going to see how we would do in this bowl season. So with that said, Tom, if you don't mind, go ahead and give us your first play.
All right, my first one comes, I've actually got 3 plays on the first Saturday of what I consider bowl season. So the first one comes from the AutoNation Cure Bowl. And I've got in that game, I've got Tulane minus the 3.5 over at Louisiana La Monroe. Louisiana Lafayette. Excuse me. Tulane is a 3.5-point favorite. I think their defense has definitely decided better. I also think Tulane has had to play tougher competition, a little more stiffer competition. So I really feel like they've had to kind of sacrifice throughout the year against the teams they played with a tougher schedule. And that's kind of where I'm basing that on. I seem to also like a lot of early favorites in these bowl games. And that's definitely one that I spotted. I'm going to put a $100 unit on that. So that's 110 to pay 100.
Nice.
How's your first pick?
I like that. I'm going to go with a smaller bowl game as well. I'm heading on to Boca Raton, and it's on December the 18th, so we're actually going to wait. I believe that's next Tuesday, and I'm looking at UAB and Northern Illinois. In this game, I'm looking at who I thought would, or who wants this game more, who is actually the better team, in my opinion. And this game opened up with the other team, with Northern Illinois as the favorite, and has shifted to UAB being the favorite all the way up to a field goal. Their program off of. And if you look at the discrepancy on the two teams, UAB is averaging around 400 yards a game on offense and giving up 300 to NIU, only getting around 325 yards on offense and giving up 347. I think this is a little lopsided. I think UAB wins this one comfortably.
Yeah, I'm going to add to that. I like that one, and that was a lean for me. UAB's third down defense is one of the best in the country. It was at 26.32%. It was a very low percentage. Teams had success on third down against them. The only thing that steered me away was the quarterback. I thought there was some injury, a potential injury on quarterback for them. I know they covered 9 times this year. They're definitely beating, what the number Vegas is putting on them. So that was impressive to me. The only thing that shied me away a little bit was not knowing their injury status on it. And if we got a little closer to it and I felt good about that, I'm going to be on UAB too.
I got you. I like that. I totally agree with you. You got to look at injuries during these bowl games.
Yeah. I see what my next game is, the Mitsubishi Motors Las Vegas Bowl. It's also this first Saturday, the December 15th. I've got Fresno State covering the numbers up to 5 now. I've got Fresno State covering the 5 against Arizona State. Arizona State's missing some key players, and especially on defense. They have injuries on offense and defense, but especially on defense. I know they might have the superior coach. I don't know. He's got more experience, overall maybe. But I really think Fresno State's had a tougher schedule, and they've done more with it and have been more proven. I like when Vegas moves the line up a little bit. I like to follow it sometimes, and I think this is a good situation here with Arizona State's injuries. It's a good play.
I do too. I like that pick. I love that bowl game, actually. I think that's an underrated game, in my opinion. I like what Arizona State's done this year. They definitely played a lot better than I thought they would. But I also like what Fresno State does, and I like Tedford. When he was at Cal, he coached against Pac-12 teams, obviously, in his own conference. So he's familiar with it. Obviously, that was a few years ago. It's not like it was recent, but at the same time, he's been there.
That's
I
a
like
$100
that
play
game.
for me now, so I forgot to mention. What was your play so we can keep track of it?
Yeah, the first play was $100. The second play I've got is also going to be $100, and I'm actually going to go with a Pac-12 team here. Kind of keep the theme going, I guess, as far as matchups. And I'm going with the Cheez-It Bowl on December the 26th, Cal versus TCU. I did project this game, and both stats, I got the edge going to Cal. I think they're a better team overall. Right now, this is a pick 'em. If you look at some of the trends, TCU is 2-7 in their last 9 bowl games. They're also 2-7 in their last 9 games overall this year. You look at Cal, they're 5-2-1 their last 8 non-conference games. So that's including, the non-conference from year to year, and also they're 5-1 their last 6 overall. A few other trends, just as far as conference-wide, the Pac-12 in bowl games are 42-31 as a dog the last 30 years. They're also 17-4 in bowl games after a straight-up double-digit loss. So when they lost, their last game by double digits, they seem to bounce back in their bowl games. I like those trends, and for that reason, I'm going Cal on the pick'em for $100.
I can see your point there. This was a tough one because when I did the numbers, I came out and they were really close.
Yeah.
I looked at their third down conversion rate, the average yardage they gave up per play on defense. They were very similar. TCU's defense had a slight edge on that, but there's too much injury issues. Their quarterback for TCU is injured, and he's probable. They have offensive lineman that's key, that's probable. And then they have a running back at TCU that's out. So I like your play there, and it's a pick, is what I see it at. I think it's a pretty good play for you.
I appreciate it. And the mention on those injuries, man, TCU was beat up with injuries this year. I think that at one point they had 26 of their roster was out with injuries. That's half the sideline almost. So that's a crazy amount.
Yeah, so they definitely play in, and then I wonder what the motivation is for a player to play in a bowl game that's not, a playoff game. If they're injured a little bit, and they, do they just tell the coach, hey, I don't think I can make it, or if it's a big bowl game, they doing everything they can to get in the game, kind of thing. So
right.
I don't know how that plays in. Hey, I'm gonna move on to the next game. I'm also sticking with that Saturday. This is actually one of my bigger plays here. It's App State versus Middle Tennessee. It's in the R&L Carrier New Orleans Bowl game. I'm not sure if I've heard that title before. App State is -7. And when I was looking at this team, I was just floored how well they played. They gave Penn State the run for the money at the beginning of the season. They were dominant in almost every team they played. I looked at some teams that I respected on their schedule that they beat. And really impressed me. I didn't see anything in the same class on Middle Tennessee's side. So this is going to be a $250 play.
Wow.
I put this one. So this would be one of my bigger. I've got 3 of these tonight, and that would be one of my bigger plays. Appalachian State -7.
I'm totally with you on that one. I think App State, I know they just had some turnover with their coach, but at the same time, that team is really good year in, year out. I think Middle Tennessee State is a little overrated. So I'm right there with you. I like App State in this game. I think that's a good play. I really do. My next play, I'm actually going to jump ahead a little bit. I'm going to go all the way to January the 1st. This is the last play that I have that is a $100 play. Or actually, it's the next to last $100 play that I have, but I'm going to go with it already. And it's in the Sugar Bowl. It's Texas versus Georgia. This game, to me, is all about motivation. I think that between the two teams, don't get me wrong, both of these teams did lose their conference championship, but if you look at motivation, just look at body language, I think Texas is going to come in this game and play hard, and you're getting more than 10 points. Currently, it's at 10.5. I love that number. You're getting a couple scores there. You're getting some key numbers in there. And like I said, motivation is the sole reason I'm going with Texas in this game. I think that Georgia has better athletes, but I think Texas is coming in on like I said, they did lose their conference championship, but they had a really good year. Georgia didn't make the playoffs, and they thought they should have. They thought they would in a lot of cases. I just think this is an all-around play for Texas.
I think you're right on that one. I think Herman wants to prove to not only his fan base, but especially his boosters, that they're back. And I think their players want to prove they're back. And on just the other side, you've got, 18 to 22-year-olds that are down because they didn't make the playoffs. And they were beating the number one team in the country for 3 quarters, basically, and lost that game. So I think that weighs in with younger athletes that are in college. That really weighs hard. And, they're looking to next year and not this bowl game. So I'm
totally agree.
That's a lot of points to be given to Texas, a good Texas team.
It is. Tom, if you don't mind, there's one game that we're both on. And if you don't mind talking about it, we'll finish up part 1 of this. This is actually going to be a 2-part video.
Okay.
And so we'll finish it up talking about that game if you want to start off with it.
So that is, I've got the Miami-Wisconsin game. I looked at the defense on these two, and both of them have pretty good defenses. I was really impressed with Miami's. It had to be one of the lowest ones I saw in the bowl season. On third down, their rate was 24.8% of the opponents were able to succeed on third down against them. Both of them had very good yardage per play, limiting their opponents to that.
Right.
I really felt like with Miami's injuries on the receivers, I've watched their play a couple times. The kids from Mobile, they get to play quarterback in there occasionally. I really think they're limited on what they can do without these 2 big star receivers. I think they won't score a lot. I think Wisconsin runs the ball a lot. I think this number's too big. I got the under on that, under 48. I believe it's the last number I saw, and that's what I've got. As a big play for me, that is a $250 play for me. I believe that's my second of my big plays. 2 of the 3.
Absolutely, and like I said, I'm on this with you. I'm right there with you on this. I've got 48 as well. Just to give it a little bit of trends to back it up, Wisconsin to the under is 4-1-1 their last 6 bowl games where they were a dog of around a touchdown or less. They're also 4-1 their last 5 neutral site games to the under. You look at Miami to the under is 5-1 their last 6 overall, and they're also 4-0-1 their last 5 as a favorite to the under. So a lot of things pointing to that under. I'm right there with you. I think even though losing Manny Diaz to Temple, I still think these 2 teams are going to play really good defense, try to run the ball, and control the clock, and see what can happen there. And that is actually a $100 play for me. It's my last $100 play.
Yeah, I think this line's going to move down. So if I recommend those that are like that play to get on it now, because I think it's going to be around 46.5 to 47 when that game kicks off.
Totally agree. Well, that wraps up part 1 of this 2-part video. I really appreciate everybody joining for this. Thank you, Tom, for joining me on this video. And make sure that you check in for part 2. And we'll see you soon. Thanks.
60% of the time, it works every time.